All right, this morning we are in the book of John, first chapter of John, and just sharing out what we read. We invite you to go and read along, read the first chapter of John, and then follow along as we discuss this. Um, it's actually kind of interesting because uh, one of the points that Jesus is doing here is he's calling his first disciples to come and go with him. And so this is interesting that we're being able to share this chapter and start off with this. So what were your thoughts?
I like this part back here, toward the beginning, where it's talking about the grace and truth. And the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and we have seen His glory. Glory is as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. And in the part where it says, the law was given through Moses, grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God, only God who is at the Father's side. He has made him known. Grace upon grace. Where is that part?
Grace
There it is.
upon grace.
For from his fullness we have all received grace upon grace. It kind of made me think about Preston and the challenges that I'm having with him and with interacting appropriately with him. And I was thinking the other day about how he knows that he's not going to be successful. He doesn't need to be told that. He doesn't need to be told he's messing up. He doesn't need to be told that he's a failure at behavior. What he doesn't know is that he's loved. And when Lene kind of pointed that out to me, it really hit me pretty strong that so often we're that same way, that we don't need somebody to point out all the ways that we're messing up and all the ways that we're failing. What we don't know, the thing that we need to learn, is that we have grace. We have love upon love, grace upon grace, and unconditional acceptance in God. That's what was striking me. What was striking me?
I like that grace upon grace part as well, because that was just hitting me. Like when Jesus says, verily, verily, truly, truly, he's really emphasizing, and to hear grace upon grace, it's just that word picture of heaping it upon you. It's just really a good one. I was kind of intrigued over here in verse 35, whenever John was standing with two of his disciples. He saw Jesus, and behold, the Lamb of God. And the two disciples, at that point, decided to follow Jesus. Jesus turned to them and saw them and asked who they're seeking. And they said, Rabbi, which means teacher, where are you staying? Immediately they recognize Jesus as the one that they're destined to follow. They've been following John. They were a disciple of John, and now John, who earlier in the chapter is like, there's a man coming that I'm not even worthy to untie his sandals. And when they see him, they're like, this is the man. This is our new teacher. We're going to follow this man everywhere. And he's calling. Further down, he starts calling his other disciples. And the one part that struck me was where it says, who came from Galilee?
Can anything good come from
Yeah,
Nazareth? That part.
yeah. Can anything come good from Nazareth? This is Jesus, son of Joseph from Nazareth. It's like, this guy's on the wrong side of the tracks, and we're supposed to follow him? That's what struck me.
The other part that struck me from this section was that he calls people kind of by twos. the first two come to him, then one goes and gets a brother. And then after that, he calls Philip. And now Philip was by himself, but he had to know of Peter and Andrew because they came from the same place. And then along with Philip came Nathaniel. So he's not going and like picking off the lone person who would be gullible. He's pulling them in pairs, and it's kind of setting that whole stage for life in community. You're not alone. You're always with another.
So that's our thoughts for today. If you want to tag and do your own thoughts on this, again, the reading is 1 John, or excuse me, not 1 John, the first chapter of John. Here's 1 John, in case you didn't know. Tag it and share your thoughts. Thanks.